Have you ever felt trapped in a life of darkness? Well, I was, and this is how I found the light. My name is Leo Vallejos, and I used to live a very different life than I do today. Praise Jesus. It was a world full of drugs, gangs, violence, sex, and darkness and demons. So one day it became very clear to me that it was all a lie, and it led to a dead end. I guess it started when I was younger. I always had a sense of belonging, like I needed to belong to something. My mom was always gone. My dad was never around. I didn't even meet him until later in life. But I started getting in trouble at a young age, got locked up. I needed a 2-year sentence. When I got there, them guys made me feel like I was a part of something, a family. And I liked it. I liked where I was. I liked who I was. And I liked where I was. And I remember my best friend, he was a big old guy too. He used to knock guys out in one punch. But he's like, man, everybody likes you when you got here. He's like, I had to fight for the first 2 months every day until people found out who I was. And they didn't mess with me no more. He's gone now, man. I wish he would have found Jesus before he left. I'm afraid he didn't. I don't know for sure, but anyways. I remember they woke me up. I just did 2 years and they woke me up to leave it out. Vallejos, get up, roll it up, it's time to go. And I didn't want to go. That's how much I liked it there. So finally I got up, I went. And after that, it was a 20-year life partying, using drugs, selling drugs. And then I went to prison probably about the age of 27. And I did 8 years. And the first year I was there, they raided us and they got me and a few guys and tried to get us for selling heroin. They didn't find nothing on us, but they're not stupid, we were in there messing around, selling drugs, using drugs, and well, they put you in a lockup cell. It's called a lockdown. You 23 hours, you get half an hour wrecked in a little cell, then you get a half-hour shower, but you're handcuffed during the shower inside a cage too. But when I was in there, I read a lot of books, and I remember I came across this book. I can't remember the name of it. It was years ago, but it talked about how meth opened up portals to the demonic world. And I thought, this dude's crazy, because I've heard of God and devil, sins, but I didn't believe none of it. I thought the devil was something you made, was an excuse when you couldn't fess up to what you've done, couldn't admit to your wrongs. And so I read this book, and he talks about how the drug meth opened up a portal to a world that you can interact with these demons. And after I finished reading it, put it down. I never thought about it again. So I did my time. I actually did 6.5 years, got out. I lasted 12 days because I just got a brand new truck and I wrecked it into a tree. The day I wrecked it into the tree, it ran out of insurance. I had the insurance money in my pocket because I just got paid. I was supposed to pay the truck. And instead, I went out and got drunk. And while I was drinking, I did a big old blast of heroin. And I fell out at the wheel, like a block away from the house, which is probably better because if I would have made it home, I probably would have went to that back room where I was staying. And I would have laid down and never woke up. But I hit this tree and I totaled the truck. So I lasted 12 days. I went back, did my 1.5 years. And I got out, and my wife at the time was hooked on the stuff. I hadn't tried it yet. It was just that meth stuff. And I didn't mess with it. I was a downer kind of person. So we got hooked on it, started using it together. I remember she used to talk to herself, and I was like, man, she's just messed up on the stuff, That's probably what it is, but she would always do it. And then when I started noticing it, she'd start turning up the music and doing it. And she'd look at her stomach and talk. So I don't know if this thing was in her stomach or what. So I started confronting her about it. And she's like, no, you're tripping, you're crazy, you're going crazy. For like the first year I was out, and I started thinking, man, maybe I am going crazy. I started believing it. And then one day I came home, and I went to the back room, and her and my son were sleeping on the bed, and the blanket was like a wavy motion over them. And I finally got mad, because I knew it was something. I knew it wasn't, I was crazy. I knew what she was saying wasn't right, so I called this thing out, not having no idea what I was dealing with. I didn't know nothing about God yet. Like I said, I just heard about him. I thought it was a fable, you know. And I finally said, you know, you like messing with kids and women, why don't you mess with the man? I called this thing out, and right there I made the biggest, well, probably the best mistake of my life, but at the time, it felt like the biggest mistake of my life. Right when I went to the living room, because I was in the hallway when I said that, and I went and sat in the living room, and right when I sat on the couch, I felt like this voltage or force of electricity came from the ground. What it felt like was all the electricity in that apartment complex came from the ground, shot up my feet, into my body, and like I was having a heart attack for hours, just shocking sensation going through my body. And I didn't know what it was. I thought I was gonna die. And I was like, man, it has to be this thing, you know. I don't know. I've never felt that before. It was pretty trippy. And so I sat there for hours. I remember. I thought I was gonna die. I didn't die though. Praise God. And I couldn't even sleep, man. It was just so crazy. Life was crazy at that point. And I remember a couple days later, I finally called my mom. I was like, there's something wrong. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with me. I don't feel right. She's like, well, let's go to your grandma's. So she picked me up and went to my grandma's house. Well, not my grandma, but she was married to my grandpa, so she was kind of like my grandma, you know. We used to go spend the summers at his house, and she'd watch us. So we got to her house, and right when we got there, I got down from the car. She had cats and dogs, and right when I got down there, it started hissing and growling at me, like wanting to attack me. And I was like, what the heck? And that's when I knew. I was like, there's something in me, man. These animals sense it. That thing, when I felt that shock or whatever, this thing got in me when I called it out or something. And so I was even more scared, because I've never dealt with nothing like that. So finally, it's like 2 or 3 days later, I finally fell asleep on the couch in her living room. And while I was sleeping, what I had was, I thought a dream of this knight was on fire, and he's standing over me, and he's like, like laughing. And he dropped what looked like a coin on fire. When he dropped it, it rolled down my center of my forehead, down my nose, all the way to the tip, down this arm, and down my middle finger. And I jumped up real quick, and I was like, oh man, it was a dream. That was a nightmare. So I fell back to sleep, and in the morning I woke up. I went to wash my face. And right when I looked up in the mirror, after wetting my face, there was a burn mark from where that coin hit me. And this is real life, you know. I guess it wasn't a dream, but that burn mark went down all the way. Everywhere that coin hit me, I had a burn mark where that coin rolled down me. And I was like, oh man, that wasn't a dream. And I even got more scared. So I turned off the lights in the bathroom, because the mirror's kind of far away from the bathroom. And then when I looked up in the mirror, one of my eyes was going this way and one was going this way. It was a demon or something. We'll get into that later, how I know, because those are crazy eyes. But so, man, right there, and I thought, man, this has to be evil. There's evil. And when people would get near me, like they would stutter. Like the closer they got to me too, the more they would stutter when this thing was in me. But no one believed me. They're all, you're crazy, man. You need to stop those drugs already. And I was like, man, there's something in me. I even showed him in the mirror. I showed my brother one time. And he's all, and they made excuses for that too. They were, oh, it's some kind of medical condition. And now I do it and nothing, you know what I mean? There wasn't no medical condition. There was a spirit in me. And so I thought right then, I was like, I need to know who God is. You know, I need to get a relationship with God. But I didn't steal like an idiot. I took my girl back, the one that, there was an entity she was having relations with. And she loved this thing, gang. I mean, more than me, obviously, because I'm sitting here alone and we're not together no more. Because I told her, you're going to have to give your life to Christ if you want to be with me. We have to find Jesus. Or we have to find God. You know, it wasn't Christ at the time. I'm not going to lie. I was like, we got to find God, a relationship with God. And she's like, yeah, I want to. But it was always just talk. We never went and did it. And so I still stayed with her. And, you know, still didn't get off the drugs. Still kept using. And then I had some more encounters with these demons or whatever. I got some stories, man. I had more than one encounter, but that's the first encounter when I knew there had to be a God because there was evil. And so finally, I left her. She was messing around on me with one of my family members, and I split up with her, and I came here. Well, actually, and that's when things started getting crazy for me. Like I said earlier, everybody used to get along with me. People liked me. Everybody always wanted to be around me. My house was always packed with people since when I was a youngster, like 14, 15 years old. We always hung out at my house, you know, all the way until I had that experience with this thing, this entity that sleeps with women. And I don't think it's just one or two. I know two of for sure that I've encountered that it sleeps with, but I think it goes around the world sleeping with women. You know what I mean? People who haven't given their life to Jesus or don't walk with the Lord. But anyway, so I finally left her. You know, my ex-wife picked me up, and my sister ended up calling her, said, "Hey, you gotta pick him up because these guys are gonna get him." Because I was doing business with one of my friends, and they were spreading. I know they were spreading rumors because I was using it at the time, but I always had the money. You know, I always paid for what I got. You know. That's how it started, you know. Most of my family and friends started hating me first. And then my ex-wife picked me up. We went up to Lubbock. And I thought it was going to be all good. I was going to stay there and make a life for myself. But same thing, man. It was not what it seems to be, you know what I mean? Even they were against me secretly. And I remember we went to go clean this barber shop. They were like, "Go help us fix this barber shop." So we're in there working, and this dude's like, "Go throw the trash." I told him I just threw it. And these dudes came in, all tatted down like me, you know. And they said hi to everybody in there that was working, except me. And I was like, what the heck? So I went outside and lit a cigarette to see what they'd say to me then. And they just looked at me. Like then I knew something wasn't right, you know. And so I went back inside, and that dude again, he says, "Go throw the trash." I was like, "Dude, I threw the trash." I told you, "I'll just go to the back and make sure there's no trash." So I go to the alley, and sure enough, there's some dudes hiding in the bushes over there where the trash can is. But I still went, you know, and threw whatever, nothing happened. I just said, I gotta get out of here. So I split from there, and I remember I called him to pick me up from here, and I told him, "Hey, come pick me up. I don't feel right here, living here, you know, something's not right." So they picked me up. And I remember I'm coming back, and I was sleeping in the back of the car, and I woke up during the night. I thought this was a dream too. You know, they were driving the car. They don't have no kids, you know. And I look in the front seat, and the dude's holding this baby, ugly baby, crossed, like his eyes are full, like red. And I looked in the mirror, the eyes are all crazy. It's like a midget, an ugly little midget thing. And I was like, these people have babies. So I went and laid down. I said, I'm just half asleep. I don't know, I'm dreaming, you know. So I get down, and I go to lay down and go to sleep, and we wake up, and we get here finally to Albuquerque, and we pull into an apartment complex, and I get off, and there's a bunch of dudes hanging around. I'm like, what the heck? And so I get down, whatever, and I know something's not right. And so there's a bunch of dudes waiting for me already when I pull into town. They already know I was coming and everything. And so I don't know what it is. I don't know who these people are or what it is. It's like a gang stalking thing or what, but ever since I've seen this thing about this thing that sleeps with these ladies, the spirit, I've had trouble with people, everybody. I can't get a job or nothing. Every time I get a job, these people go in there and, you know, and I know most of it's probably lies they're saying. I don't think everybody walks with Satan. But, you know, they say to people like what they don't like to hear, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to say that I'm a perfect guy, because I'm not. I was on drugs then and everything. But I admit to everything I've done. I've never shied away from anything. All you have to do is ask me. And yeah, there's a group of dudes waiting for me, dude. So I don't know who they are or what. And ever since then, it's been like that. You know, I've had these problems all for the last, 15 plus years maybe it's been, ever since I got out of prison the year after that. And I still didn't snap. Still, you know, I'm kind of looking for God. I tried the Mormon thing. I tried the Islam thing, the Quran. It didn't feel right, there was no connection there. And then so like about up to a year ago, I quit using the drugs. I got on a program that helped me a lot. Yeah, you take meds so you don't use the drugs, and but back about a year ago I started messing with that stuff again. And the demons came back. And when they talk to you, they don't talk like we talk with our mouths. They talk like telepathically. You hear the whole conversation through your head. And they were already telling me to do some wicked stuff, And I said, man, this is just out of hand already. I got to give myself to the Lord. And so I got down on my knees and I prayed. That's when I found Jesus Christ. Ever since then, I still have my things I got to work on, like my smoking. I smoke cigarettes still. I still take those meds so I don't take drugs. But, I'm not perfect. But nobody's perfect but God above. But I've changed a whole lot, I quit smoking weed. I thought I'd be smoking that for all my life. It's been over a year now I quit that. And I even have the medical card and all that. Now it just sits in my wallet. I don't need it now. But yeah, that's how I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And it's gotten a little easier. At least I have Him now. I have some brothers and sisters in Christ. I do Bible studies all week long. I read my Bible every day. I pray all the time. That's important when you find Jesus. You gotta pray and keep that conversation going. Talk to Him like a friend, like a family member, And every chance you get, I talk to Him all day long. I need Him. I need Him every second of every day. Even since now that I've given my life to the Lord, it's gotten harder. It seems like these people that are gang stalking me or whatever, they're even worse now. We have these people move in above me and non-stop harassment for 7 months, you know what I mean? And I know, I still get angry. I'm still working on that. You gotta learn how to forgive, because you gotta forgive them. A lot of these people, they're pig against me. What I believe is they're from Satan, dude. Witches, stuff who devoted their lives to Satan. Because I can't explain it, but I know they have these babies. Whoever has relations with this, I think it's Satan or it's a demon, but they have these little ugly, like I said, these little midget-looking demon babies. And they're like demons, dude. They're the ugliest things I've ever seen. But ever since I've seen that, I've had these people after me. And I'll tell you a story of how it works, because how I knew how it, in my mind it came to Satan, because I thought there was someone spreading rumors about me at first. And these dudes were well connected, because a few times I've left town and tried to go somewhere else, and they have people up there. And I have to ride the Greyhound bus. I rode the plane one time, and on that whole bus ride, one time I had left from here, went to Washington, and on my way back from Washington, that whole bus was filled with people who were looking to get me, dude. And I don't know how I made it back. I got stranded in California. I lost my wallet. I didn't think I was going to make it back that trip. And I made it. Praise God. He's had His hand on me ever since. I don't know why, even before I gave my life to Him. And then one time I went to Texas, and I didn't tell nobody I was going. I acted like I was going to go do the laundry. And I left the laundry cart inside the laundromat. Had an Uber pick me up, went to the bus station, went to Texas. I don't even remember what part. It was the first part of Texas where we get to from New Mexico. And for the first day I was good, and then the next day I woke up and I heard whistling. And I thought, because that's how that's how they talk, And I was like, no way they found me. And I didn't tell nobody what I was doing, but I was still messing with drugs. And that night I got some drugs, and I started messing around, And I think that had to be the way they found me, dude, through demonic spirits. And but they found me, so I had to ride the bus back from there. I said, I'm coming back, whatever. That whole bus was full of dudes waiting for me. As soon as I stepped into the Greyhound bus, all I heard was all kinds of guns, pieces being loaded. And I was like, oh man, but I stayed there, whatever. I didn't leave, and I got on the bus, and then the bus driver left me in some town on the way back here, and I didn't think I was gonna make it back that night either, because they were waiting there too, dude. And I made it back. Luckily, there was some cop parked there in the parking lot, and I guess they were just sitting there, two cops talking the whole time. I was waiting for my ride to pick me up, because I got left there, and it took my ride hours to pick me up. So they picked me up, and I shouldn't have made it back on either one of those trips. Like I said, Jesus has always had a way to protect me, thank God. Because I would have died in my sin then, you know what I mean? I would have went to hell. And so we get back, and like I said, that's when I knew, man, I gotta give my life to Jesus, you know? I cut it so close so many times. He's looked out for me all my life. This is my baby. She loves me. She's good, girl. But I gave my life to Jesus standing there. Like I said, it's gotten harder now that I give my life to Jesus. They're trying to make me fall off. Like, I can't say, it's no way to prove. Real witches don't admit they're witches. They keep that a secret. Satan's a secret. You want the world to know he exists, you know what I mean? But I've lived in these apartments for 5 years, and these people have positioned themselves around me now. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just wanted to share my testimony. And even though it's hard, don't give up, because the Lord's with you. And when He's with you, you don't have to be afraid of nothing. Or nobody, because now when you die, you know where you're going. But it's all ultimately in His hands, He's the final say, I believe. When my time comes, I'll be ready. And if any of you have ever experienced anything like that, you can just go ahead and comment in the comment box. If you ever want to know anything about the Lord, ask me. And if I don't know, like I said, I'm new in my walk with Christ. If I don't know, we'll learn it together. But I love learning about the Lord. So if you have any questions, I don't know, we can learn it together. That's why I just wanted to share my testimony. To let you know Jesus loves you, man. If you're going through drug addiction, hard times, and you need someone to talk to, you can reach out. I got my email right there on my bio. If not, I'll put it in the comment link here. If you can't find it, just let me know, leave a comment. God bless you. Baby says God bless you. Her name's Bella, but I call her Baby. Tell him God bless you. Tell him bye. She's a monster, but I love her.